So you want the highest damage build you can get in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or you want to have infinite life and pretty much never run the risk of dying? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've come to the right place. Today we're going to be going over a variation of the same build that'll give you incredibly high damage and pretty much infinite life. This is an absolutely OP build in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I do really hope you all enjoy this particular setup. Now, you will be able to adjust this build for your own personal playstyle with various different weapons, and you can even interchange some of the equipment if you so desire. So there is a lot of versatility in this. We're going to show you the basics of what you need, the armor, the weapons, the skills, and the abilities you should be using with this build. And we're going to start off with the armor and weapons that I recommend using. Now, first and foremost, the Spartan bow is absolutely amazing. This is a bow that you can get from your Ubisoft rewards and temporarily increases your critical chance after a dodge. It's great. If you can't actually get this particular bow, there is another bow that you can use that you can get in game, and that is the Viper bow. This can be purchased from any of the shops in the game, and this increases your critical chance after each hit up to 10 times. The bonuses are very similar, so this goes up to a 30 critical chance, and the Spartan bow goes up to 30 chance, but you only have to dodge to get the full boost with the Spartan bow, which is why it's a little bit better. Now, as far as the weapons, for the start of the build, I'm going to be using the Kopis or the Kopis. This is a dagger that you get when completing the quest line for Sigurd, which you can do about midway through the story. It is an amazing dagger. Now, there is also a rune that you can get that has the same exact skill, so you can get the rune or you can get the dagger. Either way, I really like using the dual daggers right now, so I'm using the Kopis, which restores a low amount of health after each critical hit. So the health that it restores is 10%, which is really good, especially when you're running a critical hit build. You're going to be restoring a ton of health, especially with the other skills that we're going to be using in this. Now, on my offhand, I am using the Satunger's Claw, which is easily one of the best daggers in the game, and this increases critical damage after each hit up to 10 times. So we're increasing our critical chance and we're increasing our critical damage at the same time, so we're increasing our damage substantially. Now, you don't have to use daggers for this if you want, and we'll get into a different variation of this with other weapons here shortly. Now, I'm using two-piece mentors. This increases attack after critical hits. So if you go into the stats here, you can get up to a bonus plus 20 attack after critical hits, and the duration is 35 seconds, which is really long. The mentor's two-piece bonus is really, really good. Now, you have a couple different choices for the other two-piece that you want to use. I definitely recommend getting the Einherjar armor. I know I'm probably mispronounced that. Two-piece bonus. Obviously, if you don't want to buy it in the shop, you can get it from Retta. It has not shown up in the Retta shop for me yet, but definitely keep an eye out on this because the damage bonus on here is up to plus 30 and the duration is 50 seconds. It's really just an OP armor. But the other option would once again be the Thane's armor, so the two-piece bonus, so increased critical chance when parrying, which is really great. But since we're using the Spartan bow and we're going to be dodging, it's not as great with that. So you can really use whatever other armor you want. Even just using full Mentor's set if you really want to will increase your speed, which will in turn increase your damage. So you really have a lot of different options there. The Brigandine armor is really great too if you want to increase your damage. Instead of going for critical chance, you could go for a little bit more defense capabilities, which will allow you to just really tank things and just destroy everything. It's another good option. But that's all we really need to go over for the armor. You can use any of the spots here, so you can use the Mentor's Cloak if you want and just kind of set it up however you want. As long as you're using two-piece Mentor's set, you're going to be golden. You can mix in really whatever else you want. So there is something I want to go over with the runes in this game. I did see videos and stuff of people like farming up these high-level runes like these. But from my testing, it doesn't seem like these runes stack. So if you see over here, we've got the increased critical chance after each hit up to 10 times rune on here. If we put another one on our main hand, those benefits don't seem to stack. And I did a lot of testing where I would try and stack up them, and then I would get the same benefit whether I had 1 or 3 equipped So maybe my testing was flawed and maybe I was super tired, but as far as I could tell, these do not stack. So you do want to put different ones in here. So like I have the increased attack after a combo finisher up to 5 times. You can get the Desperate Death rune, which increases your critical chance when low health. And then for the other runes, which are these circular ones, these do stack. And I recommend stacking as much critical chance as you can when you get them, because it's just going to help the build flourish even more. So now we need to go over the skills. There's a couple basic skills that I really recommend. First and foremost being Brush with Death. I get asked a lot on what skill slows down time when I'm dodging, and it is this one. It is very early in the Raven tree, and it is incredibly OP. Now obviously if you're using the Mentors set, then you need to get the Way of the Raven bonuses, so definitely make sure to get all those. And then obviously if you're going to pair it with some bear armor or wolf armor, get the corresponding armor bonuses here, or the Raven aligned, bear aligned, or wolf aligned gear bonuses. Obviously if you're using daggers, you're going to want to get the bonuses that apply to them, or any of the weapons that you use. They do each have a bonus in all of the trees. So if you're using axes, then make sure you get the axe bonuses. Now miasma is another really great skill, especially with the auto health regen stuff, because when you kill these, it'll drop the cloud of poison, which will then poison more enemies, allowing the next skill to proc automatically all the time, and that skill is Grit. Regain the red portion of your health bar when landing successful melee hits on enemies. Poison will trigger that and automatically heal you when you take damage, which is really, really nice. Another great one, especially when you're fighting higher level enemies, is Last Chance Healing. Instead of dying, you'll have a chance to heal yourself. If you do happen to take a lot of damage, this will either allow your automatic healing proc to take effect to where you'll regenerate all that health, or you can pop a ration, but you'll very rarely have to use rations with this build. If you're going to get Adrenaline Fiend, you want to get Berserker's Medal as well. This makes it so that if you get hit while you're filling a bar, it won't empty the bar, and you'll be able to continue gaining the adrenaline and be able to get that damage bonus. Now, I've mentioned dual axes quite a few times in videos. Now, both the dual two-handed axes and dual one-handed axes can be incredibly OP, especially when used with this particular build. Right now, we're using the Housecarl's axe paired with Varen's axe, and we're using the restorative rune on one of the axes. That way we get that health regen on critical hits, and then we're just pretty much maxing out our damage, speed, critical hit, and it's just really OP. So there's 2 abilities that I highly recommend using with this to take advantage of the auto health restore from Grit. That's Poison Strike and Incendiary Strike, or Fire Strike. You get these when turning in the Order of the Ancient Medallions at your Assassin's Bureau in your settlement. Now we're going to go over where to get the weapons real quick. To get the Satungar's Claw, you're going to need to go to Winchester. If you go to this location, you're going to find a spot that you can jump down into with water. You can sneak into this area if you want. Just be careful not to get stuck around the well like I did, and you should be able to sneak in perfectly fine. We have got an air pocket, and I believe we actually made it right to where we needed to be, essentially. Nice. There are a couple different ways you can go about finishing this puzzle. If you move this door, there's going to be those bombs right there, but you'll need to grab those bombs and blow up this little rock wall, which will get you into the main bureau area, which will have the next piece of equipment, another codex piece, and plenty of other loot to be had. And we got the Satungar's Claw. Now, you should have gotten Varen's axe at the beginning of the game, so we need to get the Housecarl's axe, which you can get in Grantebridgeshire at the camp at this location. Now, there's going to be a big hut in the center of this. You can stealth in here or just murder your way through. You can even raid this with your raid boat, which is really nice. Inside of this tent here, or not really a tent, but inside this hut is going to be a chest here with the axe that you want. Now, regardless of what weapons you decide to use with this particular build, it's going to be ridiculously good. And you can really tailor it to be used with any weapon if you desire. But this is going to give you a really good baseline for setting it up for yourself. Now, I do hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to slap that like button, show the video some love, and I'll see you all in the next one.